Hi everyone, and welcome back to Passage Principles with Pastor Pete. Today we're taking a look at Ephesians chapter 6, verse 18, which reads this: "Praying at all times in the Spirit, with all prayer and supplication. To that end, keep alert with all perseverance, making supplication for all the saints." Today's passage is the very end of the armor of God, about spiritual warfare and how to be prepared. It's interesting that Paul chooses to end this passage with the command to remember to pray. The Apostle Paul gives us 3 instructions of something that we're supposed to remember when we're praying. First, we're supposed to be praying in the Spirit. This simply means, 1, we are supposed to let the Spirit guide us in our prayers. And that seems kind of weird, but it's simply this: allow the Spirit to stir and challenge and help us hear God talk to us about things that we need to change as we bring our cares and concerns to Him. Remember, prayer is always a 2-way conversation, not a 1-way conversation. We need to make sure that we take time to stop and listen as God speaks to us. The second instruction that Paul gives us here is to keep alert with all perseverance. We need to be on the lookout. The image here simply is a guard on the wall looking out for the enemy army. We're supposed to keep a lookout for the spiritual battles that are going on all around us. And when we see them, we go to God for strength and help. The third instruction Paul mentions is to remember to pray for all the other saints. We are not the only ones in a spiritual battle. There are a ton of other brothers and sisters in Christ who are struggling through so many things. We need to remember not just to pray for ourselves, but pray for our other fellow Christian believers. So today's passage principle is simply this: Christians are to pray for help from God for themselves and for others. I want to challenge us all today to spend some more time in prayer. That as our day rolls on, we would build in some moments before we do things to go and talk with God. We all need to acknowledge we need God's strength more in our life. And then the second is, I want to encourage us to keep in mind our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, our friends, our family, our coworkers, our neighbors, because they too are struggling and need prayer. We all have to remember we are all constantly in a spiritual battle. So I want to encourage us to lean on God in prayer more so that we can stand our ground and fight the good fight.